Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Perrine, the Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police Indianapolis District. The Roadshow is brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information about our sponsor, visit www.indianasfinest.com. We want to thank our good friend Eddie Griffith and Network Indiana for getting us on the radio across the great state of Indiana each and every week. So if you're hearing us on the radio, it's thanks to our good friends and partners there. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, it's thanks to the efforts of the man behind the camera, Tom Trial, who does such amazing work, fills the Indiana State Police YouTube channel with incredibly valuable content, hours of entertainment. So check out the Indiana State Police YouTube channel by searching Indiana State Police on YouTube. Our guest today comes all the way up from Monroe County, from the Bloomington area. Longtime trooper, but newly appointed PIO for the Bloomington District, Sergeant Kevin Getz. Sergeant Getz, welcome.
Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
So exciting time. You know, you've taken 29 years as an Indiana State trooper, and as you come down the home stretch here, you've decided, I'd like to be a PIO.
Absolutely. The position kind of opened up, and it was something I actually, when I graduated from college, Ohio University, 1990, I got a degree in journalism from the E.W. Scripps School of Journalism, and I thought, it's about full circle. I'm coming down to the end of my career, and I thought, what better opportunity and challenge than to become the PIO for the Bloomington District? So
let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. Let's start. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to high school at?
I actually graduated from Bloom Carroll High School. I'm a Buckeye, although I don't claim being an Ohio State fan. As I told you, I'm a Ohio University Bobcat graduate. So graduated in 1990 and actually came over to Indiana to work at a small town paper and. Cut my teeth writing stories, and one of the beats was the law enforcement beat. So I got to know all the local police officers and the sheriff's department and the state troopers. So, and I started hanging out, talking with them. I would ride with them, get involved with the ride-along program. And two troopers were very influential. They both retired. Brent Johnson and Dan Jones were really influential in my decision to join the Indiana State Police and take my career into an entirely different path than what I thought when I graduated from college.
Yeah. And, we have a lot of ISP retirees and active members that listen. And so you're an honorable member of the famous 50th ISP Recruit Academy.
Indeed. Graduated from the academy in 1993, which also happened to be then Sergeant Gary Dudley's first academy class when he had gotten promoted into the training division. So that man has been a big part of my life for a long time. Yeah,
and I was very fortunate enough to go through the academy under First Sergeant Dudley is what it was when I went through in 2002, and just not very many people on this planet I respected more than Gary Dudley. That's for sure.
Absolutely. He's touched. I will never forget the at the day of the funeral when First Sergeant Dave Burston at that time had everybody stand up who had ever attended a class or had been touched by Gary Dudley, and that about 85% of the audience stood up. So that really speaks volumes as to the kind of influence and impact he had.
Yeah, and so. We're starting your career in 1993. Where do you go as a rookie trooper?
Started off at Evansville District. I was assigned to Knox County, and I worked there for about a year and a half. My wife was working on her doctorate and working and teaching at Indiana University, so we decided, we got to get a little bit closer. So we moved to the Bloomington District in about the spring of 95, and that's really where I cut my teeth, being a road troop. That was home. That's where we raised our kids. That's where they went to school. Enjoyed the road immensely. Spent 13 years working nights, a couple of years working days, and then I thought it was time for a different type of challenge. So I submitted a application and went through the interview process to be a general assignment detective. So then I worked general assignment detective duties for the Bloomington District for about 6 years.
Yeah. And then as your career evolved and you really started diving into investigations, another opportunity came your way that you jumped onto in cyber crimes.
Absolutely. Toward the end of my general assignment detective duties, I was working a lot of cases with child molest, child contact offenses, and I started working and assisting on search warrants with this fancy unit called the Internet Crimes Against Children Unit. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really neat. And then got to work some cases with Detective Chris Cecil at the time. And then when he got promoted into the cyber crimes unit as a forensic examiner, his spot opened, and I jumped right into internet crimes. And that was really a passion for 10 years. Having the opportunity to rescue children, to take people who were involved in the production, distribution, dissemination of child sex abuse material, and making an impact on a local community. That was extremely rewarding. And then every once in a while, something big comes along, like a Jared Fogle case that just takes your time. But it was extremely rewarding, and I felt like I'd really had made an impact. And then this position opened up, and I thought this was a great opportunity for me and a different sort of challenge.
Yeah, and so now you're stepping into the void that was previously filled by now First Sergeant Mike Wood, who good friend but an incredible PIO. Very, very valuable.
Absolutely.
And so you're very fortunate to still have him there at the district to kind of coach you along, because as you told me this morning as we were meeting in my office, you said you're drinking from a fire hydrant, I think is what you said.
Yeah,
and,
that first day, it felt like a fire hydrant, and they just took the wrench off the truck and cranked it all the way. So,
well, PIO is one of the jobs within ISP where, they give you the sergeant rank, they give you the access to all the stuff that you need access to, and then they say, go do it. And you just jump right in, and you learn from other PIOs, you learn from other folks who are currently doing it. But it's a very, very important, valuable position.
Absolutely. And when I was interviewing for the job, I remember one of the things I had said is, if at the end of my career, certainly as a PIO, if I can be in the position of what Brent Johnson and Dan Jones were, where somebody either through an interaction with me or through an interview on the news or something like that, where somebody goes, wow, that's a great job, I think that's what I want to do, then I'm successful. And that's my way of really wanting to pay it forward to an amazing agency. I could have left a long time ago if I wanted to, but this agency has a special place in my heart, and I'm really glad that I've had the opportunities that I have had, and hopefully sometime in the future, somebody who's interested in this will have an interaction with me, and that will seal the deal, and they'll put in an application just like I did back in 1992 and go through the process.
And you bring up a great point about recruiting, and as PIOs, we tend to be kind of out front as the visibility for the department on social media, in person, at these events, on camera.
Absolutely.
And so we have a very big responsibility to recruit the next generation. And so we've spent a lot of time on that right now. And currently the Indiana State Police is accepting application for trooper. We're going to be doing so through the middle of April at least. So www.indianatrooper.com is where you go. But, we talk about why the Indiana State Police, and I tell them we're not better than any other police agency in the state of Indiana. No. We're the difference in our agency is the possibilities that you can do within your career. And that is, we're a 1,200 person department with every aspect of law enforcement that's available. I mean, everything from aviation, SWAT, scuba, cyber crimes, crime scene investigations. If you see it on TV, we probably have it. And that's where the opportunities come within the Indiana State Police to move forward.
Absolutely. A great example, I've been the South Zone Honor Guard assistant team leader, and what an opportunity. We're obviously we do color guard details, and we do line of duty deaths as witnessed with the recent passing of Master Trooper James Bailey, but we also get an opportunity to honor those retirees that pass who laid the foundation for the Indiana State Police. And in a lot of instances, we get an opportunity to talk to the kids or the surviving spouse. And what an amazing opportunity to sit and talk about, what they did and how things have changed. And it's just, again, you hit the nail on the head with, we're not better than any other agency. We have so many opportunities. I mean, in my career, I've been on scuba, I've been on honor guard, I've been able to do the Farm Progress Show, the National Governors Association, when they were at the zoo. There's so many opportunities. Directing traffic at the 500. I mean, that's, when you're a young kid, that was a lot of fun. It was enjoyable. And again, the opportunities are endless within the Indiana State Police.
I remember there was a point in my career where it was the Indianapolis 500. I was assigned the infield detail, and my job at the beginning of the race was to help clear the area where the cars are on the track right before they start the engines. And I'm literally standing on the track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when they say start your engines and the cars fire up. And I mean, I look around in that moment and think, I cannot believe I'm being paid right now to stand where they're starting one of the most historic races in the world and be a part of this. And man, what a cool opportunity that was.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll never forget, it was an ICAC case that we worked where we got the call. It was a cyber tip that came from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and it was one of those cases where we had to just drop what we were doing and go the day before Thanksgiving, and within hours, the task force got together. We knocked on the door, conducted our investigation, made an arrest, and rescued a child the day before Thanksgiving. And I mean, driving home that night, I probably had enough positive energy. I could have powered Indianapolis probably, but just that feeling of you brought justice to a victim who probably wouldn't have had it if there hadn't been anybody there to speak for. So that was, again, whether you're working the 500 or maybe you just stop a car and that person, you interact with that person that maybe changes their day or makes it a little bit brighter for them. Mm-hmm. It's just been an absolutely fantastic career.
And that's what we always tell people when we're recruiting is just, you can come on this department and be a road trooper for 34, 35, 40 years, right? If that's your passion. But if you have passion to do other things, those options are there. And sometimes they're there pretty quickly in your career. Within a couple of years, you can be going in a different direction, different path. I can assure you 20 years ago, I was actually getting ready to graduate the academy 20 years ago right now, and never thought I'd be sitting in a PIO seat. That wasn't on my radar, right? But as my career progressed and I found something that I enjoyed, and that was this job.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I never would have guessed, when I graduated or when I was a PO driving my stripe in Knox County, that I would be able to, in that span of nearly 30 years, do the things that I've been able to do, have the interactions with the people I've had, make the friendships. I mean, that's just, how much fun did you have, John, when you were working and it'd be like 4 or 5 of you and you go, let's go run traffic and let's go run around this town and, and let everybody know that, hey, we're here. And then you just, after you're done, you kind of collect your activity, and then you go sit down and have coffee together or a sandwich or a drink, and you just go, hey, well, how's everything going? How's the family going? I mean, the friendships that I've made along the way, again, is just absolutely, I've absolutely enjoyed my career, and I'm really looking forward to this new, different type of challenge.
And we'll switch directions here for the closing minute of the show, and that is, you and I both had an honor recently to play a role in the funeral and the services of Master Trooper James Bailey, who was killed in the line of duty, struck by a vehicle that was fleeing from other police, and his sacrifice, the stories we hear about him, just an incredible human being, and his family, unbelievable people.
Oh, absolutely, and every May as our memorial services come around, I've been affiliated with Cop Cycling for Survivors since 2007 after the death of Lieutenant Gary Dudley, and these things always kind of really affect me, and but it was indeed high honor for us to be there to render honors for the sacrifice that James made. And so, and then, obviously our commitment is we're never going to forget that.
Yeah. Well, and that's certainly true. And we want Master Trooper Bailey's friends, his family, his coworkers to know that we'll never, ever forget his sacrifice. We'll honor him forever. and we'll take it from here, brother. Rest
All right.
easy.
All right. Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in.